Okay guys, welcome back. So this is a little preview of a not quite finished optical illusion color wheel that we're going to be doing, also called op art, which is short for optical illusion. So we want this idea of all of our lines coming into a center space, kind of like that vanishing point. And so they get wider as they go out to the edges. And we're going to create this illusion with shading to make it kind of feel like these are cones that are turning. And so that's going to help create that kind of cool optical illusion. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. You're going to notice this is a square piece of paper. So right now I'm going to take my piece of paper that I want to use. If you are going to be using paint for this, then you want paper that's a little bit thicker. I'm just using drawing paper, okay? So I am going to take this and fold it from one corner, just like that. And this is going to show me my extra piece that I have right here that I need to cut off. Okay, so I'm just going to very carefully cut my extra piece using that part of my paper as a guide. You can also measure it out if you want to be extra particular, but this method will work just as well. Okay, open it back up and I should have my square. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is take a ruler or straight edge. You can use just a piece of cardboard as a straight edge if you need to. And we are going to draw our lines. And I'm going to draw a line from corner to corner, okay, to start to break up this space. That's my first thing. Now, within each one of these, I'm going to need 3 more lines, okay? So I'm going to break this up. Sorry, 2 more lines so that it equals 3 spaces. I'm going to break this up. It doesn't have to be totally even, but what I don't want to do most likely is draw straight through the middle, because I don't want one piece to be super small and the other one to be a little bit more awkward. Okay, there is going to be an alternate idea for this if you want to push it a little bit further. So I'm just going to do both sides at once, and I'm kind of deciding, what do I want it to look like? Do I want it to be thicker? Do I want it to be thinner? Do I want them to be even? It's up to you. But make sure you're hitting that center point. Again, I don't want to go straight down the middle. I want to have some kind of a little bit of difference here. Again, it can be a little bit thicker, a little bit thinner, but just think about your spacing. Okay, and that is all you need to do for Monday. That's it. Break up your spaces. You should have 12 spaces for the 12 colors of the color wheel. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm going to go ahead in this video and continue on to what you need to do tomorrow. So for tomorrow's task, we are going to be adding in kind of the swirls. And if you think about them as swirls, they start to get a little bit confusing. So instead, what I'm going to do is just show you it's a series of kind of half circles. One goes up, and then the next one will curve in or down. But you can actually go around and just do all of your curves going up and try to keep them sort of in the same area, and you're skipping every other one. If you don't really like that method, then go ahead and do your one that curves in next and continue around that way. Doesn't really matter, it's just preference, what's comfortable to you. Okay, and we're just lightly sketching these out. And there's my first one, okay? You need to do this 4 times. So I'll repeat, you can decide how thick you want it to be. And I'm just repeating, same idea. One goes in, one goes down, up, down, up, down. Okay, And then what's going to happen is this is going to create all these different spaces for us. Okay, so after you have that done, you're going to go back with colored pencils, okay? And you're going to label all of your spaces that you're going to color in. This is going to be colored in solid so that it eventually hides the word for us, but I want you to keep that in mind, and we're keeping the order of the color wheel in mind. So on Wednesday, you are going to be coloring in your primary colors, which will be your yellow, your red, and your blue. And those need to be equally spaced. So we have room for those 3 oranges later. We have room for those 3 greens, and we have room for our, oh sorry, this one's blue. We have room for our 3 violets. So this is going to be my yellow green, my green, this is my blue green, and this is my blue. So yellow, red, and blue are on here. So I want to space them out equally on my color wheel. Doesn't matter where exactly, but you can match it up and make it just like mine if that's more helpful. But they have to have 3 spaces in between. So if I want to do my blue here, I'm going to put just a B there for blue. If you want to write out the word, you can. And then I would do it again in my next space up from that. So you can see on this one, hopefully you can see where I did blue violet. Okay, so I did blue violet, skip a space, blue violet, skip a space, blue violet. Okay, so I'm just going to show you that one. And then I would have more of these lines finished to add in more labels. I'm going to skip 3. 1, 2, 3. And then this one is going to be my yellow. Skip 3. 1, 2, 3. This one is going to be my red. Okay, so again, it doesn't matter as long as they're equally spaced. And then once you have that done, on Wednesday, you're going to color in your primary colors. Now, my preference for this is going to be actually that you use Sharpie. I think it's going to be the easiest way. I completed this one with Sharpie, and then we went over it in colored pencils to make it appear 3D for the ones that are finished. So we're going to color in that every other space solid in the Sharpie or any other permanent marker. Okay, now you got to be kind of careful with permanent marker, and you want to make sure your strokes in marker are nice and even and smooth. Okay, so it would be like that, and then as you can see, just like I did on this one, I would skip a space and then do the next one. Okay, and then to finish it off, we're going to add shading. So all of the spots that are left white, we're going to go back and actually shade those in. Now my shading is going to be darker towards the edges and lighter towards the middle. So I want to use my layering technique, all my good shading techniques to help create that illusion, making it look 3-dimensional. I'm going to go curve it around a little bit to help that round feeling. Okay. And that's basically what we're going to be working on. Then on Thursday, you will do the secondary colors, same idea. And on Friday, you will start your intermediate colors. I'm only asking you to do half of them. So 3 intermediate colors, and then Monday we'll finish up with the other 3 intermediate colors. I have a few more shading tricks that we're going to do next week, so stay tuned. It won't quite be finished yet, but we're getting there, okay? Let me know if you have any questions about how to complete it. I do want to show you one more alternate idea here. This is the same idea. It's a little bit too close, I think. Try to fix. Same idea, except instead of doing straight lines to break up the space, instead of those lines being straight, I just kind of made them curvy. So I picked a point. I didn't use the center of my paper. I picked a point and I let my lines come out. I still had to make sure that I had 12 spaces, okay? And this one I did in paint, and tempera paint actually. You could also do watercolor paint as well. That's a possibility if you wanted to try that. But the main thing I am looking for is that we do go back. Whatever you've used, that's fine for the solid pieces. And then as you work on these white areas, that we're doing that shading, okay? So in colored pencils, starting to add my shading, and that's what really makes the optical illusion pop. We are also, as I said, going to do a few tricks to make this look even better. But we want to think about that layering technique, going a little bit forward and a little bit back over it to keep it smooth. And really make it look as nice as you guys can. Build up those edges are going to be my darkest point, so that it looks like it's gradually coming up to a point here and looks rounded at the very top, with just a light value of blue at the very top of it. And again,